Joining me now is Illinois Democratic Congressman Brad Schneider. He is one of the House Democrats calling on President Biden to end his campaign. Congressman Schneider, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So walk me through your decision-making process. You actually called on President Biden to end his re-election bid yesterday before his press conference. How did you reach that conclusion? Why not give the president the benefit of the doubt? Listen to what he had to say last night.
Well, it wasn't about one press conference or a single debate or an election rally. It's really about what we've been seeing over the last several weeks, even last several months. And as I said in my statement yesterday, I love President Biden. I was the first of the Illinois delegation to endorse him 4 years ago. I did so because I knew he would be a great president. He has been a great president, a transformative president. But I'm looking also at the future and where we are. And between now and November 5th, we have to be doing everything we can to make sure we win in November. And what I tried to convey to the president, to the public, is we are at a watershed moment where President Biden can seal his places in history, put a capstone on an incredible career, secure his legacy by transferring the baton to the next generation. We've got a great bench. We've got a lot of people who are able and ready to lead. And if he does it in a way that unites the party, unites the nation, I think we can not just get to the finish line in November, but we can run through the tape and win with a big mandate.
Well, I want to drill down on you about what that process might look like from your perspective. But look, President Biden, pretty defiant last night. He said, look, if his team shows him evidence that he cannot win in November, then yes, he would consider dropping out of the race. He says he hasn't seen evidence that he can't win. Have you seen that in the polls? I mean, the reality is the head-to-head matchups have not moved that much, although clearly the crosstabs, if you dig into the details, in other words, it does tell a slightly more complicated story.
Yeah, I don't like relying on polls. I spent a lot of time in my district last week with the holiday. I had a chance to be all over my district. I walked in 8 parades, walked by at least 50,000 people. I had more people than I can count, hundreds, if not 1,000 people say, we love Joe Biden, but we need to find someone else to run this race. I didn't have anyone say it to me the other way. In our office, we get calls and letters and emails. We record all of those. It's running 30-1 that Joe Biden should pass the torch. Those are messages, and I talk to my colleagues. And as others have said, I'm not a lonely voice in this. This is not anything I take joy in. Joe Biden has been a great president, a great vice president, phenomenal senator. He has served his nation with dignity. And I think we are just at a point where he has a chance to do the last act, as George Washington did 240 years ago or less, but passing the baton and setting the country on a course to continue this experiment that we have celebrated for 248 years.
When I talk to the president's supporters, they say, look, passing the baton is more complicated than just passing the baton. You would likely have a big floor fight at the Democratic National Convention, even if the president were to endorse Vice President Kamala Harris, that you could be opening up the process to chaos, to murkiness, and they argue that that would be also handing Donald Trump a win. What do you say to that argument?
Well, the first thing I say is none of us can predict the future. I can't say with certainty that Joe Biden is not going to defeat Donald Trump in November. And if he is our candidate, I'm going to do everything I can, 100% and a little bit more, to get him across the finish line. I can't say for certain that someone else on the top of our ticket is going to do better, but I believe that if we unite the party, unite the country, we have a chance to do something great. And so we don't know what the future is. I don't know that there will or there won't be a contested convention. What I am hoping for and what I'm calling for is the party to come together, to unite in the convention, to get behind our candidate and recognize the threat we face with Donald Trump, a convicted felon, someone who wants to undermine our Constitution, overthrow our democracy, and put America's role in the world at risk, and in so doing, put America's and the world's security at risk at the same time.
Do you think that Vice President Harris is the strongest alternative to take on Donald Trump, or is there someone else who has caught your eye? Obviously, there are a lot of names that are being discussed. Governor Gavin Newsom, Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Governor Josh Shapiro, I should say. There are a lot of different names that are being discussed as a potential nominee. Who do you have your eye on?
Absolutely. So you took my answer, because my answer is we've got a lot of people, right? And it's not for me to pick who it should be. What I will tell you, whoever it is, whether it's the vice president, who I think would be, as Joe Biden said yesterday, he would not have picked her to be vice president if she wasn't ready to step into that role. If it is one of these governors who have executive experience and a demonstrated record of accomplishment in their states, our bench is so deep and so wide that one of the key differences between the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. Republican Party has become a party of the cult, but Democrats, we are a party not only of a big tent, but a tent with a lot of people who have done a lot of amazing things and who are committed to moving our country forward in an amazing way.
I'm curious, Congressman, since you called on the president to step down yesterday, have you urged other Democrats to speak up, to take your lead? And do you anticipate that the calls are going to grow based on your conversations with your colleagues?
And this is a matter of style. I've been talking to my colleagues last week during the holiday. I was making calls. I talked to them when we were in Washington this past week. And I said the same thing to everyone. You have to follow your heart. You have to do what your gut's telling you, what you believe is the best for the country. And since I made my position known yesterday afternoon, there have been others who have taken similar positions. I suspect there will likely be more. But at the end of the day, as Mr. Clyburn said earlier in this show, that it's ultimately the decision for the president. My hope is the president will follow the lead of George Washington, who set the standard by passing the baton to the next generation and setting the country on a course for success, that Joe Biden will live up to that example.
Congressman Schneider, very quickly before I let you go, what do you say to fellow Democrats who are concerned that your words, that the words of other Democrats who are calling on the president to drop out if he does stay in the race will be used against him as we get closer to Election Day in Republican ads? Sure,
absolutely. And that's a fair concern. But here's the bottom line. What I'm saying is what I'm hearing from the people I represent. And they're all, almost all, overwhelmingly 30-1 are saying the same thing I'm saying. Fundamentally, we love Joe Biden. We think he's been a great president. And we think this is the moment to heroically pass the baton and move it to the next generation.
All right, Representative Brad Schneider, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.